and sisters, today Jesus reminds us that we do not get to draw a box around the virtue of compassion. In our first lesson and in our second lesson, the authors are celebrating God's presence with God's people, promising, reminding that God is with us, guides us, encourages us. The author of our second lesson really prays for that to continue and grow. A little historical tidbit here. The letter to the Colossians is one of the letters that scholars dispute back and forth about whether it was really written by Paul or one of Paul's disciples giving the master credit, or maybe bits and pieces of both. What's important is that it marks for us the ongoing tradition of the movement and faith that Jesus started, the people that followed him, preserved it, and passed it on. And for us, again, a reminder that God is here, and God is with us. He cares, and blesses, and guides, and that our prayers for one another matter. Our gospel story changes up the theme on us. Starts out with the classic confrontation between some person of importance and reputation in the local community who doesn't get named, but wants to kind of get Jesus into a bit of a rabbinical debate and dialogue. And this is the classic piece. What's the bottom line? What's the most crucial piece about our faith? Love God with your whole being, and love your neighbor as yourself. And then comes the hair splitting. So who's my neighbor? Where's the limit beyond which I don't have to love any further? And Jesus turns the traditional apple cart upside down. Now, I hope you'll indulge me with another little historical aside here, because the power of this story is easily lost if we don't take a moment to refresh our memory on who the Samaritans were and why Jesus picked this guy as the good guy of the story. Back at the time of King Solomon, the kingdom of Israel was at its fullest extent. And when he died, his two sons each took responsibility for half the kingdom. One in the north, called Israel, one in the south, called Judah. Samaria is part of that northern kingdom. It's a region in that northern kingdom. Over the generations, a good deal of animosity grew between the two, partly because of traditions about worship. In the south, where the city of Jerusalem is, they continue to worship Yahweh at the temple Solomon built. In the north, they practice what was probably an older tradition, worshiping God from the top of the mountain. So you've got this religious tension. You know, we've got the right way, no, we've got the right way. There's also a lot of political and other tensions going on. The two kingdoms didn't always step up to the plate as military allies when one or the other was attacked or under assault. So there was all kinds of tension, animosity, and mistrust. By the time we get into Jesus' age, for him to say that the priest didn't do the right thing and the Levite didn't do the right thing, but the Samaritan did the right thing, that was quite a cold slap in the face. And makes the point very sharp. We don't draw boundaries around compassion. Love of neighbor doesn't have limitations. As human beings, it's very easy for us to be caring and compassionate towards our family and our friends and our business associates and people whom we know or have a great deal in common with. But the further we get outside those concentric rings of our personal lives, the harder it is. The more someone is different from us in the way they look, the way they talk, the way they sound, the way they dress, the way they do things, the harder it is to recognize and experience that connection. And Jesus' challenge is that we not ever let that get the better of us. I will be the first one to admit this is not the easiest challenge for Jesus to live up to. I certainly do still hold certain grudges that I have to keep coming to God with and say, help me out. But the point of all of Jesus' teachings is not that we have to be perfect to be part of the kingdom of God. The point is that we're called to take it seriously and to grow, to reach up another rung on the ladder and pull ourselves up another step, to continue to grow and make progress and strive in prayer, and study, and worship, in compassion, charity, and all of the good things that we're called to grow, to not be complacent, to not be self-satisfied in the sense that I'm good enough or I'm too great, but to reach, to hear the challenge, the calling to become more and more virtuous as we live our Christian lives. My brothers and sisters, today, and certainly in the context of the news that's been around our nation, it is a calling to progress, to move forward, to grow in love of neighbor, to grow in love of God, to grow in mutual respect and compassion.